Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind, where we take the mystery out of mortgages and make dreams of home ownership a reality. I'm Natalie Salins, a top 1% mortgage broker with 20 years of experience, based right here in sunny Los Angeles. If you've ever wondered about pre-approvals, appraisals, or what loan product is right for you, don't worry, I've got Mortgage on My Mind, so you don't have to. Each week, I'll bring you expert advice, real-life stories, and insider tips to help you navigate California's competitive real estate market with confidence. Whether you're buying your first home, refinancing, or just curious about how it all works, this podcast is for you. So let's talk mortgages, demystify the process, and make your real estate goals a reality. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mortgage on My Mind. Today, I have an incredible guest, David Ifediba. Am I pronouncing that correct?
You said it perfectly, actually. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, incredible.
You said it perfect.
Beautiful. David is a licensed California real estate agent with Real Brokerage Technologies. But what's so cool is he actually has a background as a nationally certified school psychologist. So he brings a unique blend of empathy and market expertise to his work. Specializing in first-time homebuyers, investors, and sellers, David has earned recognition as a top agent on Zillow, which is amazing. And that's thanks to his dedication and exceptional service and building trusted relationships with his clients, which of course is the most important thing that we do. So welcome, David. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Natalie, for that great introduction. I'm very happy to be here. Super excited just to kind of share my background, my story, how I got to this point 4 years in and still going. As you know, in this business, most of the agents don't survive year 2, 3. So just to keep being in it is a miracle. And I'm just very, very excited to just kind of give back and to inspire during my time here. So thank you.
Yeah, especially these past few years, right? Like the fact that they were your start years and you're still trudging through and getting through them.
Yeah,
It means when the good, easy years come,
I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
yeah,
That's the hope. That's the goal. Just
I
being
know
patient.
for sure. So tell me a little bit about, you were a psychologist first, I imagine, yes?
No, I actually started both at the same time. That's why.
No.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So funny story, goes back to, for me, like December 2020, January 2021. December 2020, I was in this really low point in like my life. I got out of this bad relationship. I was broke. I left this job that was like my dream job. I was 6 months removed from my undergrad, so I just got my bachelor's in psychology. But the job that I had that I thought was my dream job, it was like a research and equity research analyst or whatever. It wasn't in the best like environment, like the best work environment. And so I left, parents were upset, I was upset at myself, and I just felt lost. And so what saved me was like my mom literally came into like my room and was like, son, just keep going, just be strong, like you got this. And the rest I always say is like kind of history because I really like doubled down. I got 2 jobs, worked at Amazon, like bagging groceries for like Amazon Prime, and then at
Okay.
retail for not Ross, like DD's discounts, excuse me. So I was
Okay.
working these discounts, working at Amazon, just saving my money. During this time too, I was applying to graduate schools. I was hustling or studying for my real estate license. I was substitute teaching. This isn't like a 4 month period. And I was just doing all kinds of different things, just really staying locked in. And then
Yeah.
April 2021, I got my license and a full ride to my graduate school program in the same week and my car. So it was just boom, boom, boom. And yeah, that had me off and running. So I've only known
Nice.
good things.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, great. And so so you decided to do both. Why?
Well, honestly, my parents. So I was very fortunate just in like my life. My both my parents were actually teachers, and so that led me down this space of like education. But my dad, when I got here, we already had a home, which I was very like grateful for. But he was also a real estate investor. So we had a few doors that we had been managing. And as I was growing up, I was just very fortunate to be like around his business. I was going to his properties with him. I was going to like the bank with him. I was seeing him talk to like tenants. I was even cleaning properties sometimes. So I was already in the business at a really young age, like 4, 5, 6. Like we were literally so just being around real estate. That's when people tell me like, how do you do both? How do you do both? I'm like, I've seen both, like my whole life basically. With having that educational background and real estate background from my dad, it was just like the perfect kind of blend for me to be like where I am now.
Yeah. Amazing. And how did you get with the brokerage that you're in?
With Real now,
Yeah.
I was with EXP first, so that was my very first
Okay.
brokerage. Then when I joined my team, which is called Power Real Estate Group, they switched over to Real. So that's how I got into Real. Mhm.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. And so the, $10,000 question is how do you think having both helps and supports the clients and how do you use it towards your advantage?
It's been fantastic, actually. I just finished up my first year as a school psych this past Friday for school, like first full school year, in
Wow.
business and real estate. And I've had a great year. Since November, I've had some kind of real estate income consistently. For me, the biggest edge for me was time management, and then just like the empathy, then the listening skills I gained from being a school psychologist, which most people think is just like, oh, you're just like a school counselor, but we do like SSMT meetings, 504 plans. We determine kids like special educational statuses, a lot of testing, but all these different things like all kind of played a role into business, and it allowed me to get used to multitasking on a really big kind of scale because from my school psychology job, I'm used to like deadlines. There's always some IEP coming up or educational meeting coming up, or either with lawyers and parents. So I got used to like that high pressurized kind of feeling. And then when I first started off, it was kind of tough because I was doing showings by myself and everything. But as thank God, like I get paid pretty well. So I expanded like my team to include now a social media manager, a VA, and a in-person like showing assistant. So when I'm at work, sometimes 8 to 6,
Right.
I don't feel stressed as I used to anymore because I'm not doing everything by myself. Now my VA is writing up like my newsletters or she's sending out emails.
And what is the VA? Just for the
Virtual assistant. So I have a virtual,
Oh, okay, got it. Got
yeah.
it.
So
Okay.
she helps me out with making my newsletter, making flyers, shooting out emails or follow-ups if I need her to. Then I have an in-person assistant who's also a licensed agent who I can be like, yo, I have a showing during my times of work. Can you make it? He's available. I pay him as I need to. And then like the biggest weapon for me I've realized has been my social media manager. Because well, honestly, all my clientele come from referral and from like social media. So I don't make any cold calls. So everything is just referral. And that's the best kind of business, as you know.
And so tell us, because I know one of the questions and one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because
Yeah.
you've built this business so quickly is like, how can other new agents establish themselves in the way you have in this market and build such a solid reputation so quickly? Yeah.
No, great question. I would say number one, just being patient. There are so many times where I wanted to quit. I was literally juggling graduate school and selling homes like that and working full time as a substitute teacher. Like it was painful, but I always say, number one, start with like your sphere. So my main sphere has been my church community, and it's called UIU. It's an Igbo nonprofit. So I'm Igbo. I'm Nigerian. That's a tribe in Igbo.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I
Yeah.
really am there for my people in that way, and they always see my genuine effort, and I always love being there. So it's never really feels like work. I'm just like hanging out with like friends, and so I've had for now 3 years in a row, I've had home buying seminars with them. They
Mhm.
allow me to showcase my skills, my own personal team of lenders, directors, title officers, escrow officers come along, and we just kind of get that information out. And then piece by piece, people just kind of get to know you. And then, I'm really big at like again on like social media. So those reviews, those referrals, they all just come in, and like I said, it just feels very natural. It really just feels very natural.
Nice. And so tell me again, your VA, your virtual assistant, they do a lot of your marketing and like what exactly do are their tasks?
Yeah, so I mean, including myself, it's like a four-person team basically. So there's a virtual assistant. She's literally in like the Philippines. She's the person that does, like I said, the newsletter, the emails, and any flyers that I may need. Then I have the in-person assistant. He's here. He's lived very close to me, and then he's in like any showings. If I'm like out of town, he handles it. If he has any questions, he hits me up. And he's had years of experience with like rentals and stuff, so he's already good with that. And then I have the social media manager who's in LA. Well, she's in like the Valley. She has access to my social media accounts. She helps me to plan content. She gives me ideas. We review every month as to like like the progress about like my content and like everything. So it's a really, really good system that
Sounds
took
like
a
it.
while to kind of get going and to feel comfortable with. And so I'm just very grateful. So yeah, it just works out very, very
Nice.
well.
And so how would you say
you overcame the challenges that you had and that you keep moving forward in such, a competitive market right now?
I would say honestly, I mean, first and foremost is God. Like, cause I thought about quitting like a year into doing it. June of 2020, April 2021, I got licensed. I mean, I was fortunate and I got my first listing like the next month I joined like EXP, but then I started graduate school and you know how I mean, I don't know if you went back to school in a long time, but it was very, very rigorous. I didn't close much until like the end, like the beginning of my second year of graduate school. This is now September 2022. I was like, yo, like I'm burnt out. I have this practicum, I have theses to write, all this stuff. I was about to quit. And then I had a friend, his name was King or Kingsley. We just made a reel together. We made like a whole bunch of reels on like Instagram together. And I just shot one out. And then a friend from college,
Just curious.
it just these like trending audio sounds. And I don't remember what it was, but she saw it and she was like, David, remember me? I went to to UC Riverside with you, and I really want to buy a house in like Bakersfield. And I was like, oh shoot, like of course I'm gonna do it. I don't care how far Bakersfield is, like 3 hours away one way. I'm like, I'm gonna just do it because I needed like that lifeline. And so that literally changed my life. And so I literally was like, okay, I got something here. And then I just kept going, kept doing more reels. When like I started like becoming a full-time school psychologist, when it got really, really rough. And that's why I hired it out to the social media manager because it was just a lot but but it's
Manage
so
today.
seamless. She has like a social media calendar for me. She checks in with me and she's always sending me sounds that are trending and we're
So
finding
what does that mean? Sounds that are trending. Just get because I have a big
yeah.
social media I do as
Yeah.
well. I have a marketing guy that helps me with it. I
Nice,
do
nice.
well, a couple times a month I'll film,
Yeah.
4 to 6 videos and then he edits them and posts them for me because it is when you're busy, it's hard to manage that.
It-
When you say sounds, do you do music? Are you
no, like
okay?
trending audios like on Instagram. Like I don't know, there was one that was like holy effing airball, excuse me, like my language. That was like a trending reel that was going on. So she'll send me these things, and then we already have like a backlog of like hundreds of videos that from like my open houses, my presentations and stuff. And so she compiles it, or I create new ones that she creates. You know, we're
Got
using
it.
both old content plus new content plus trending sounds. And some of them hit, but some of them don't. But it's fine. I mean, like maybe we like on like a low end, it's maybe like 1,000 views, which if you put 1,000 people like
That's
in a room,
amazing.
it's a lot. But on the high end, like we just went viral the other day. We got like 5,000, and then before she even came in, I was doing like 13, 15K. Back when Instagram was more, I guess, popping, I guess. But yeah, just
What
consistency.
would you say is popping now?
TikTok, yeah, TikTok is it. But I try to stay off of it because attention span.
I can't. I'm an
Yeah.
old girl and I've been around
Yeah.
a very long time. Like
You look
I'm
young.
on my 20th year, right?
Wow, you look young.
It's the filter.
I couldn't tell.
It's the filter. Yeah, no, I've been in the business 19 years and I'm working on my
Wow.
20 now. So it's a long time that I'm in this business and watched it shift like insane.
Yeah,
Turning it into social and having to do videos and having to
yeah,
like this and then now it's all about AI and
yeah.
it's
If you can,
always shifting and changing. So I'm always curious what worked as a success for people in
yeah,
their social marketing and such. Yeah.
yeah. No, great questions. If you can't, my thing is like if you can't transition and you can't keep up, you're gonna be left behind.
Yeah.
Especially now with social media and AI, you got to use both. I have
Especially
AI.
with that. Yeah.
I
Like
have,
a real estate, like a open house sign, and
yeah,
this realtor standing next to it that says, AI won't replace your job, but a realtor who uses AI will.
no, exactly. Very well said.
Yeah. And you're and that just says it all. Where you're
Yeah.
like, oh God.
Mhm.
I guess David's note taker is going to be on our call.
The AI is already here. There's already taking
I
notes.
know. There it is. Yeah, totally. So so tell me a little bit about just a little about the schoolwork and how that is. So do you work like an 8 to 4 or a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I work a
At-
full-fledged career in opposite real estate and school psychology, K through 8 students, 900 students, that I'm in charge of, with any social emotional behaviors determining their schooling placements, making sure that grief counseling if needed, and just checking in with students. Like my presence, I really learned a lot throughout my first year, and I'm going to continue to learn a lot each year that I'm in the school. But it's been this really really good, we're like just business as well, but also for me as a person, because I feel like I'm more of a deep thinker now. I listen more to other people. I'm more tuned in, especially when I have like buyers consultations. Like I'm literally honing on like what are their concerns, what are their problems, because I'm
I
getting
was,
that.
yeah, that's how being a psychologist helps complement your career as a real estate agent.
Yes, immensely, immensely. And like I said, once I got like, because I already had like the knowledge. For me, it was just having the team, essentially, especially when it came to like this job. I mean, I have summers off. I have my weekends off, major holidays off. But it's a 12-month pay schedule, so I'm not, like it's a great just. I thank myself so much for doing that master's as I continue to be in this field because I'm just like, oh, this is fantastic,
Yeah.
Even now, like we're like this is like our first few days of like summer, and I'm still salaried and I'm not really worried about my paycheck, and I'm still just doing like today I had a pre-listing call. I checked in with the repair for the place that I'm going to list. And then we have some tenants moving into one of our rooms in our house. And then I got the keys today. So I'm just like, I'm working, but I'm not working. That's kind of how I feel right now. But it's a great
Yeah.
position to be in. It's a fantastic position to be in.
What would you say are your strengths that set you apart from other realtors?
I think for sure, like the number one thing for me is just resilience. I still have some clients that I worked with like 2, 3 years ago that I did not get them a home back then, and I'm still working with them to get them a home. And I just have that strong belief that everybody deserves like the gift of home ownership, because for me and in my family, I've seen what it's done for us. Like I'm very grateful for having like a strong father figure and strong like mother figure who have shown me both the like two sides of things, like working both the 9 to 5 and having that stable like retirement, but also having a business that can provide that retirement plus additional or like additional surplus like income for you. So I'm very fortunate, and I take that like and I don't take that lightly, because I know a lot of people don't have the same opportunity that I have. So
Yeah.
for me, when I work with clients, it's very personal to me. Like I don't treat them like a check, like a commission check, because I know that the home that you're gonna get and pay however much that you'll pay monthly for, when you do sell or if you pass it on to your kids, you'll be thinking to thank God that I bought this X, Y, and Z time with David, because I know like I remember his consultations, I remember his listening with me during this time, and that really opened my eyes. I have a friend of mine that just bought a home in Bakersfield about 6 months ago. We just closed, and it's a duplex. And I told him, because he's not cash flowing as much as he would like, and he was like, "Oh, I want to sell. I want to do a 1031 exchange." Like, bro, you're 25. Just calm down. Just give it time. You're gonna be thanking yourself in the next 10, 15, 20 years when the house is worth 1 million, the rents are like K, and your mortgage is like two. Like, just hold it steady. So I really try to
Yeah.
educate and coach, and I have a gift of like mentorship and teaching for my years again as a substitute teacher, and then also like psychologist and talking to parents, teachers, and like admin. So I really enjoy teaching people and coaching them through the real estate transaction. So to me, it never feels like just a check. Like I really take reviews seriously. I take the funds that you're paying me seriously, because I'm just like, listen, I want to make sure this is worth it for you as much as it is worth it for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say for sure resilience and just compassion.
Nice. And then last question that I have, other than you telling me a little bit about your website and everything, but what would you say are like the key milestones thus far in in your career? What's been most for you since you're somewhat new that you've
Yeah.
felt was a turning point, something that has happened?
I think for sure last year was one of my best years, 2024. I sold 3.2 mil in sales volume, which was more than the previous 2 years combined, which was 2021 and 2022. No, 2020. No, I'm getting confused now. 21,
22 and 2,
22.
22 and 23.
Well, sorry, no, oh God, 2024 was better than all those other years combined. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. And it was a mix of different things. It was like a lease transaction. It was my first $1 million home that I sold, first
I
mobile
was just
home.
gonna, what's the average home in Gardena?
About 900, 925 or so here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I've sold homes in Bakersfield. I've done referrals in Texas. I've done Tampa, Florida. So I just try to reach out as much as I can, and with the real referral network, I reach out to other agents who can help me to close those things out. But I'll say the most fulfilling one, it's tough. There's been a lot. There's this land listing I just closed about 2 months ago in Fontana. It took me 2 years to sell, and it took about two and a
Oh,
half from the time I met the sellers to selling it. But it still doesn't feel like it's sold yet because I put so much time into calling people, checking in.
so
It,
you're the lister on a land loan.
yeah, yeah, my very first land listing.
And
Um,
how was that? How did you market it differently? How much was it? How big was it?
so we started off at 1.1, but I didn't know
Oh, for land. How
land.
big was it?
It was 2 acres. And
Okay.
I didn't really, I think for me, I was oblivious to the idea of comparables and also the importance of utilities on land. So the land didn't have utilities connected. We had to get electricity connected. Then the
Okay.
biggest thing was a sewer line, which is like a mile away. And so that was already like $1 million to do. So it was just out of range for a lot of different, buyers. But once
Wow.
I dropped the price to literally half, we sold it at 550 all cash, thank God. Then it literally closed in like 2 weeks. It made me realize the importance of making sure you have like having a seller fully prepared to have their property realistically marketed, be it with
Yeah.
utilities connected or furnishing or cleaning or painting or adding new flooring, just ways to price improve. And then number two was being able to understand a buyer's needs too. Because even if you're on one side of the transaction, you still have to look at the other side, which is like the buy side or sell side. And so what do they look for? What do they want? How does this affect them? How does this like appease them? And I made a bunch of like even hundreds of calls to different buyers, different investors during that time. I learned about talking to the counties and cities about sewers and water and everything,
Yeah.
making offer OMs and all that stuff. So it was a lot. I really went to school, and it was my largest check so far, like in the business, and I definitely earned it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you did. Wow. Yeah. Land is always an interesting thing, especially for lenders as well, because we have to
Yes.
understand what you're doing with it. At Movement, we don't really do land. I would broker that, and US Bank is normally the best person to do land lot loans and things like that. But
Yeah,
even still, you have to have a very large down payment. Nobody is financing a large amount on a lot loan because they're so risky.
exactly.
And what are you going to actually do with the land? Especially land that doesn't have utilities on it. That is the hardest thing to deal with.
It's not fun.
People think they can buy a piece of land and just like throw like a prefab on it and then they're done. They're good. And it's the opposite of that. It's like you better not have a full-time job because this is going to take up a lot of time and energy. And it's kind
Exactly.
of not worth it unless you're a massive investor that can handle that kind of stress and stuff and has the ins and outs with contractors and everything like that. So
County and the city and everything.
totally. So you are promoting your upcoming website. What's that going to be all about?
Yeah, I'm in the process of making a website, dealswithdave.com. That's what this hat is. That's what's on my
Oh,
shirt.
okay. Let me see that better.
Yeah, here you go. You can see the little
I got to do.
Deals with Dave. So I've been using this branding for about almost 2 years now, and it was actually an idea from a videographer that I used 3 years ago for my first like closing with my friend from college who I mentioned. He was like, "You should do Deals with Dave," and I was like, I like the sound of that." But yeah, I'm creating dealswithdave.com. Should be ready. My hope is like July, August time. I'm just trying to figure out some details, and yeah, looking forward to just putting like my business there, and as I grow as a person, as a young man, adding more stuff to it, creating other things under it. But yeah, dealswithdave.com is coming soon.
Nice. I love it. Congrats.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with us today or think that we should know specifically about? Again, you have such a special background
Thank you.
being a psychologist and also a realtor. Is there anything else you wanted to let the audience know?
I actually want to ask you a question. If with someone who
Yeah.
years of, I'm actually working on my license as a broker. So I've been studying for my broker's license currently, and then I'm not sure if you're licensed as a broker or if you've gotten your license for it yet. But
As a real estate broker or as a
real
mortgage?
estate broker, yes, real estate broker.
So, not a broker, but I was licensed because I started such a long time ago. That's what you had to do to be a mortgage broker. You had to have a DRE license. So, I do have that.
Awesome, awesome. So,
Yeah.
how about this? What advice would you have for me just at this stage in my career, year 4 going into year 5? The team is there. Business has been very good, like for this year as well. But I don't know any other advice or anything that you think that I could like continue to like do better.
That's sweet, totally. So, my father used to always say to me, to build a business takes 5 years, and don't look up. Sit down, put your head in your desk, at your computer, whatever you need to do to work and work. 5 years later, if you don't look up, you will have a business. But it takes that long. Don't think you can vacation. Don't think you can spend money. Don't think you can do anything but focus on building your business. And in 5 years, you'll look up and you will have one, and it will be profitable. And I'll never forget that. And it took me like 5 years truly to stop working other jobs and just be in a lender, an LO, because I was back and forth doing everything I could, because in this type of sales where it's all referral, you have to build a base to do it. So, it sounds to me, honestly, like you are way ahead of the game and doing an incredible job on marketing and social and letting people know who you are. Sounds like you have a really huge following, which is amazing. Like, hats off, no question. Trending sounds, I'm going to look it up. I don't even know what that means. But honestly, it's about treating every deal like it's your only deal.
That's all it takes. I love that advice, and I will take that with me dearly. I was writing it down. And I would just thank you again, you and your team, for reaching out to me for this opportunity. It really
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's a big one, that's for sure. I'm excited. But thank you, Natalie, again, and I look forward to seeing this episode as soon as it drops.
Thanks for listening to Mortgage on My Mind. If you're ready to start your mortgage journey or have any questions, I'd love to help. With 20 years of experience, I make the process as simple and stress-free as possible. Check the show notes for my contact info, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast. Until next time, I'm Natalie Salins, here to help make your real estate dreams a reality.